Sheesh, hati adil the cut Johan. Jade Hatno Yayaki. Je Kaidushu Gach Anach Zoom Tuki Hatmuti. At Joe Gosh a Hawk Kautle Itach Yai that it was a Quati. Hosaku. Ya Shitzin away to Yeti. A daséigu jiné, ya ha you katangi. You at you to at away. Like how to at away. Yata. Ya good. Segut aya we cake. Ye awa to was a go. Wududzuku ataya yata. Yeka kwati. A dutsa. We cake. Gande wusagudi. Ye awa. Gant chokut we cake. Neil chokut we cake. Guk yuhan gande nasagu we cake. Guk yuhan neil sagu we cake. What's just like what yisaku a day yuchadush atkiya yat ayach sagu ka saat. The cut yuhan we cake. Neil Yisa'a. Neil Yisa'a. Ye'awa. Shtakat Yuhan. We Kate. Gande. Naisa'a. Ye'awa achtundatane adat yata. We dushzu. Chadasa kutzin. Dasai twasagu e Kate. In Neil Wugudi. It was a kwati. Okay. Ja, je dat koa has to eat koa ha. Gwell ye awech wa tu. A dusa ha eat with the she ya yagi. Ha should nail addi. Ja, ye dishitzin kayana eat. Ye eat koa ha ya ye dat.
Yak Gunas cheesh ye saltini yakana just to cut you on. Hatu yak ʼakaduneek shkalneek wududziteen yagachtud shkalneek kua we daséigu exercise da gachtune yana 8 yak can you move it up? Cheesh. Shkalneek neelte naida sa to wududziteen ʼakaduneek kusachan daséigu ka
naida sa akurhet katuka kaujiya ni khan
Dag undahin 4 times. Neelte naida sa
kuchte naida sa
so neelte naida sa
kuchte naida sa
so neelte naida sa
kuchte naida sa
so neelte naida sa
kuchte naida sa
yak ewa gonna cheesh atu adach hatu wududziteen yidat yana 8 yanga uine ishkasniki
Goodness cheese. Achuni yesh daséigu. Okay. Sheldon shkalneek. Kate ka wududziteen. Kachu douche tlach tu wusigutsu. Wadzika. Douche. Wadzika. Yak ewe. Achit dach du katagu douche in ke tuguhlaan ada you tufli ati. Gasno Humane Society de utua kuch. We douche ha tuusigu ha hidich gach tu sanugu. Shaya da haini douche wududziteen / chemistry aya. A huch we douche hidiwan our good. Chayuk a huch du shakat late husi a what ach. We do Sheldon you do a sock. Yashlige tuxedo douche tea. Gwash dahun du katagu. Aga awe hashagun yati. Kwani jinkat kagushuk tauk uti. 2019 wuna. Tleka kanask katagu. Cha tlak Sheldon tuhye wutuati. I think that's it. Yeah. And here's some pictures. Achit yadi ka Sheldon ka kiswas as. Sheldon not achit Sheldon yesh ausateen ish ka tla ka Sheldon kiswas nadak kat. Hooch. Millie. I mean, yesh di latzin. Shkalneek age.
Gwas yituasigu kawutsi kanawut. Just to cut you on.
So yamaka. Oh.
Just to cut you on. Kanawuts.
Kutsinake au chakanawe I douche.
Oops.
Shakage satsi our jack. Satsi yadi flesh ya kuske.
Yana ate a good douche ijiwu yida.
Chagut. So yamaka.
A good douche. Different one. A good
check. We're not ready yet. Goodness, geez.
Suke.
Yana 8.
Ah,
Sanuk ga plus kwasaka sanuk ga.
we brought him home, carried him home. Yeah, what?
Gonna cheese. Tlake Yana 8. Sheldon Dujiwa Yana doc. Table. Is table in the dock?
Oh yeah, nadak ka.
Sheldon Dujiwa Yana doc ka. Itla ka ish. Hastu nadak ka. Sheldon Dujiwa Yana doc sa.
Of course.
Yeah, well, Hadushitsu. Chashtakat ataya akhi ati.
Family member.
Ye dyslexine away.
Gwash gushu tlei again. Could be.
Ye dyslexine. Naste naida sa. Cookte naida sa. Pleka kinach stand up, sit down again.
Breathe in.
Gonna cheese.
Yakawe hada it nech sati.
Yana 8. Sheldon hot due to us siguke.
Gonna cheese. Yaklige away. Hune dushi tuxedo tsu away.
Yeah, well, hechwasaku gusuhu. Kakwa akhi wakshi kaya khwasanu gukwa wan qanins. Ja atkhwasanu qaqa akh iduke uwe ik. Kasi do shawe. Hechwasa uti. Do ye jiné aya akh yatki in sati. Kawe kutin a jaqi. Kedena we ye jiné. Kushti akh kwalteltu to ashku akhanke uti. Wan qanins kwaltu ityanuaha. Kunach ach in tutla an. Wan qanins qawat like.
Yeah, away.
Okay, goodness cheese.
Was shkalneek. Yidak. Unless there's anyone else. Suke.
Jiné. Dushi temperamental. Yeah.
Yeah, wan qanins yeah waqa. Khat qasakhan. Oh, yeah, qati. Tlil akh. Tlil. Akh ishik. Yatatsu ituakasaku. Ach you itleku. Ekkwachak. Qata yach yati hadushi. Kushtiach duin just kutlaka wan qanins. Ausagu ya hain. Ausagu ya achitki ka achet kelhastu in kulgal. Okay. Gwell achitki uski isaku wan kanin zidatki kelkadin has ausaku. Ade atsanugu ya. Kushtiach ayake has ausanug. At me staygu genk has yawa tlak. De chagutin. Ja, yidat ausaku. De koti. Ja, ha yis keitli kunach acha kawal keitl zu. We douche. Douche du ja nach wo gut we keitl. Ja, da ja klechte to ausatini.
Ah.
Good.
Zuke?
Ah. Ich du sehen, shkalneek again,
Ah,
or ijiwu.
yep. Share.
Yak ewe. Like,
I don't see anything. There.
yak ewe.
Yisatinge?
Ah.
Yak ewe.
Ega gunas chish anya sahash. Aki yedishi. Tlingit ʼakaduneek. Wegau anya sahash. Ampliech. Duhuni jias.
Ah.
Kadain du acht. Wegau. Yatauk. Shich zisku plain. Owe. Ha hidi daint at wugut. Kleik zutat ha kakwe wutudina a hoch kachat ayu dasawe ha wakshi yewuti ha do shukonach we broccoli kayani shan awaha yak adaya tuitam agawe wait at khai gune awaha wait at tukayaki duk wuk tu atuk kadiyat hasa anya sahash kedach kediyat. It looks like she's pregnant. Duk ut egash lege. Duk ut awe egash lege. Atuk du us hu dach wudichen kukast ik dach duk us duki awe wudichen kukastik dach kukastik awe ishan duki dushe dukit kawada wisha chwasatin. Ha hidi dain shaya de hain du ta iti plain du ta iti. Gos du tuasigu ku hu kusti guj kanak. One means guj gaksate. You do we fire break. You de chwaach. Chukde guj. Yatalk weid late ega godlan. Achaya hastuji yatik. Disc ka what's ich ka shiftakat at gutu adi hastuji yatik. We do ya askatu ya kadli. That's e tukayaki awaha. We what's ich we do late gadlan tunach ugut. Ya hai shugu. I should be able to. We do. Yes, kai nagats a we Catholic kanesti hit shakik haskin. Nagats a kai yes shugu.
Yendakin nakatsega.
Gwell Catholic nagats a. We beam wugut, yeah.
Eight.
Steep, Tlashwatsuku steep. Steep.
Kinde shaksatan.
Inde shaksatan. That's e archai at disco kanzi klik. Shugu du shu chain in. Go all shik it ein ya talk tunach kuwasti. Gulchish hooch gulchish ach ein sa achi.
Goodness, sheesh. Ah.
Keha, yitu agesaguk I wuzi. Shkalneek dat.
Yeshti Shatsin. Yisikuge Hunsa Disk Yadi Ye Kukwasti.
Tlek disquiadi gwasdech disquiadi kukwasti.
Ah, goodness, sheesh.
Ye anida age ye hasyati we guj. Waguj. Ye anidach age ye hasnatich.
Guj gaksati hwaachi Shadehani Oskatuya Kadli Gulch do Kus iti Witusiti.
Shkagwewe askatuya katli chosatin jing. Yag ka kelkadin chosatin ka guj. Jawan kanins aya ha anida yeti. Fairbanks ye ha wutin ka guj awe she dehin. The cut we on dach. One kanins we ka katli awe has a ha. Ye awe we husky koa tlell has uchaich. Tlell has ucha. We German Shepherd jaguta has uchaich. Well we husky koa has ausatin. Wasoe choni. Hayach eti. That's right. Ye awe chwatu. Dach a cage kutzati tiki kach. Take a German Shepherd, take a husky. German Shepherd. tlachas awacha. We chaguta qat like.
I must have do so last year.
Clear talk.
Dasa?
Yeah, dach chudziti. Clear talk.
Clear
Clear
talk.
talk shuahichen.
Clear talk. We gooch pack clean. We Daislin ai dianach chwaach sé de hain gachsati.
Ah, achati.
Ye dyslexine away. Das away. Oos. Oos.
Coot
Oos kega.
ega sige do belly
Oh, belly. Das away. Ta e te.
Dleitcock enach ge ta i
Ah,
te
like cock. Enough. Ta e te.
a day ta i ye ach eat it she
Ta e te is spring. What's ta e te?
Iti guksa wuta. Gwashwe disk wuta. Aka adachugu yisatin. Guksa wuta. Wuta ta iti. Ajawe. Wutusaku guksa. Gwash ati gut. Oscar tuch. Yisatin guksa we kuakan dutuasagu wuta yi. Ta iti.
Sleeping footprint.
Yeah, we.
God, das way. God's lawn.
God lawn
Enough.
late
God lawn.
clean
Kahin. Gwashin. Katlani hin. Tlesqutlan yaku aya kukwakuch. Tlesitoashku katlani hin. Okay.
Gonna cheese.
sheesh
Wududziteen. Chatlak. Chagut ta iti gi. Liech nuch. Isikuge.
cha de chatna u suye yanaka
Chatlak. Chagut ta iti gi. Liech nuch.
chatlak chagut ta iti amsiech she de hain sister katye
What has ausaku we coach has ausanich kuchsa has ucheuk. Atrawe chaguta has the toasaku. Keshach toashku ya shiltzidin khati jaki.
Tlatlwasaku dasawe Dane suye yanaka
Oh, shiltzidin.
yeah
Yisikuge shidzi.
okay
Kesh ushidzi. Shiltzidin.
gonna cheesh
Krenach easily. Okay, you So again, ʼakaduneek. Ha'itke koha we daséigu at shkalneek. Bashukwa hataya. Yisatin shuna aya yudu sa kadushi au tlalisatin. Hechasa kuguksa. Ya hadushi kahutsu tuxedo dush sati. Dusai aya koa shakshani khidach marjdadsen. Shuna aya. Kleidehin wish shkalneek wututlayech. Atuye wuti. Dush kaketl. Hastu ketli ayawe adatki. Just Tlingit a'aya achch. Kut acha. You has uasa we ketl. We dush ko ashuna. Acha we dush aya to a tlakach to a suku shuna aya. Aka away. Chakut dush aya hajiye wutien. Dach wush takyan. Isiku wan kanins we ketl kadush. Just Tleka has to yetki aya ye has ko u. Gwal chakuta ish koa. Ye awe Tleka dleit yach yeti. Ka llawuch yach yeti. Tleka tuch yach yeti. Achawe chakut ish. Chishugu tla koa. Aka chishugu gao has kutzati. Ya ach shat koa du ayi. Tlech ach ayi. De du ye wutin chitle wush gate wutuda di khat ka akshat. Wuk dush khasusati. Wan qanins ayako a Fairbanks ha wuti. Kutan aya just gone ye hasna teach we douche. Ya shawat sheech douche. Chal the cut at away. To kin away ye kliqi do to asagu a jakhi. Chal katat ko do yanach ye kliqi do to asagu de khunich outlayech. Kleidehina kawa with zisk khantu agudi. Ha akhuni kwalkiwe akhuni kaltigenach do khande yanakat. Ye zisk khosakuteltu toa oshko. Yinde aya yanas ein. Akad de nach aya clock out uch. Ka daséigu gink ayam du kletuch nach uchan. Dus itli. Kusteach datiach sa we kunuk we zisk de khande yanakat. Clark ka Echwasaku wasadu sako at ade yanishkakiye jakaltaginach. Rituasaku ko aduchunik sati. Jadachtahina we tu ausha uchtu letuchnach. Kunach yinde awe dullo. Dush ya ach. Ach shat tlel wush watu sha weka. Aka achantu gut ya ach shat sak. Wasa yigachtu sene. Wasakachtu sene chawe hadushi. Yewe yeachsaka. Keltu chande gachtu art. We zisk. Wal hakach aya kunachawe kukwatsuch. We douche yasatk. Just gwall adachaya kukwashich. Cook. At yenasne. Hech wasaku. Wasayak kwatlakawe hadushi. Gwall dakun kachus aya. Hastu chak aya we zisk kadush. Chosatin we zisk teltu toa oshku du khandi yanakuti. We douche ka. Ego genki kliakushki at. Hey chosaku. Achowe we te. Kacha akawe we douche shachtze u. We te. Ye awe. Oh, asatu asaka. Shachwad. shachwadzuncha. Gwalli kachwaak shachwadzun. Mist qoa dleid chach einach we tetin. Aka we douche qoa akawa ak we te a kachwadjak ein. Ha, gwalliak gudlak. Su aya adech kach adechwakik ka adechwakik ka adechwakik we te. Just achande. Aka achande aya yanashken we douche. Kachwa aka we awasha di ka adachwushi. Het was a wuti qoa we zisk keltu kach aya awatsu. Ye awe. Kat jagut gansu ausatin we. What's that do sako at douche ausatin su. Achuni gwalkiwe. Wait at su a kawa ak kaltaginach du khandi yanakuti. Oh. No, like katratse ak wasat do sako at. Ha, walhuch. Cheese.
Jeez.
So we daséigu at shkalneek. Was just whoosh. Wujinu agachtil laat. Kleid kach einach. Kati. What you do, sir? I was trying to remember how to say this. I think it's kati. Kati aya. Daséigu aya we douche. It's a mystery how that cat just survived everything. She wanted to be friends with all kinds of a moose and a sandhill crane. The crane just about speared her.
Wududziteen.
Yeah, well, gwalldacha chwasatin Wuk echa, gunnel cheese Johan tlachonach wuk eh. Any thoughts, questions, reflections?
I've got a little.
Wududziteen. Iateen gahwe. Askatu yekedle kakoch. Kanagase kaye kadzit ka askatu yekedle like ka enach coyote. Yeah. Shkalneek Lakudze awe gonalchish.
Oh,
Go ahead. Gook cheat woo.
Huh? Shkalneek aya. Chalk awe. Gwalth derch gwalth nask talk chatsatin. Tsotsik hajiwu. Kunach taudiseak with tsotsik. Stu katlat kahats yakyeti. Tlitka kinach budgie you do a sock. Gayes hit ye yewutien. Akatatse kak adat aktla ʼakaduneek. Kledehin achunt kachat kwat kahak egg beater kwat kahak du hidi ye kautuatan. Tragudak kwat kahak
Eugene in Kari Juch Chagut awe. Aga Katu Juch Katusli Hawk Wekwat Kahaka. Kunach Hatu Kasigu. Kunach Accomplished with Sea. Achla Achi Nakawanik Tlingit Yagi Kanach shkalneek Tle Aga Wuna Tle Shugo Awe De Aya Yan ʼakaduneek Gunafchisha Katin Sa Achi.
Hook echa is shkalneek and cheese. Ha.
Sean waits at sea.
Eh.
Hook echa. Okay.
Gwas de shuch ye chat wuti ya kutan. How do you say the last one?
Kayakutan.
The ya kutan. Chat ka achun hiyan we brewery ye hawuti aga away yada utsku wududziteen daséigu gang satsi do sha hus our s gwatya do da it dach yekshe
De shachawuga?
plague do sha hus, they pulled its head off the way yada utsku I was just like, I don't know how to even talk about it, I guess, but it was like they had this little bird and yeah, they just pulled its head off.
Oh, okay.
And I was like sitting there, yeah, I don't know. I was like, I hope that's not the one that they call, what is it, ʼakaduneek.
Oh, wow. Ha eh. Gwasha sai kuzitiwe decapitate. Yishan. Tashushka.
Oh, it's such a ushka.
Shkalneek. Shkalneek. Is it shakash?
There's a
How did done? Yeah. Alouette.
The only things I remember from like French class are all those songs, and they're so whack. She didn't tell us that before teaching us the song. She told us after. Crazy old Miss Spencer. She was great. She made us cram dement though, right before she tortured us with the lyrics. That was nice.
Was daséigu gang shkalneek diwu.
cheese.
Okay.
Istinge. We katsahu like in a northern flying squirrel. Shadahain katsach uya at gatuk kuwa u shidzi away ye dach gachisatini. Tak we katsach uya shoyana scoot we ask the glide. Ta'in we kalsak uya hastu at hayi ka yu kuyashik. Hastu at hayi away ka kedi ka klek ka kalsak gadli. Mayutiek ku a kwat ka yu kuyashik su. Tach kunach ye kakti geg hastu walk. Atuadach tat yin katain du at chayi ke dach atate. Kilsach uya kudi away as wuthli yi ka witch's broom tuch dach usyech. Tlakatak kanach na page mayatiek pu a kek guaskit atuadach tlach kuat a. ʼakaduneek lik ak enough anti-mini ʼakaduneek. Kaltsach uya gisatini yuyanascha. Azda kuhku natach lich. Azda kuhku natach lich. Aji dacha kuuch wutayi glin haneshi yin katiyet. Like enough chugum granny, so our people could have fat meat. Hoot gonna cheese ach kein sa achi.
Okay, cheese. Yeah, wa ach tu yake khoachi. Tlell hachs kusti yag. We cuts akwa. Ya dakka aya hasyati. Gwell llitsino e hasti tu ye titso. Acho ye in the cage. Aya hasti da. Okay. How? The woods go. Sheesh. I'll have to find that decapitation verb. I know it's out there, but save that for another time. Qanachoe wuke. Adesh kayilniki. Yata aya gwall ach tuasago adat yejitune. Ya yagi gwall. Adataya yejitune ajawe ichwajien yata aya kakachta ak. Wasa atnanin, wasa atwune, ka wasa atkakwane. Ye awa. Ya yidat didach. Dis yata koat at nach hashinach a kakachta ak. Ye awa ach tuasago yisatini. Wasa kach shechit yata kach. Aga kakachta ak yata. Gwell just yuhan shukwa, just latin. Ka tak kashahit dat yachsa ye eji. Aga kakachta ak wuchin. Ya gwellisatin. Jakakachta ako owe. Yata ayatatla yechi. Hetlwasaka kwati gwell tlallidlaki. Gwellyak koa. Hetlwasaka kwati yuhan. Jakakachta ako. So I thought we'd try this. We've been studying some of these things, so I thought we'd just start putting them into practice. So here's a verb. Let's say you looked it up. It's got everything you need to know right there. So maybe just take a look at these and try and take a couple minutes and jot down real quick what you think they would be. And then we'll go through. And we'll just, some of them there might be multiple ways to say it. And there's no right, wrong about it. We're just trying stuff out, trying to practice putting these things together, putting these things to use. So you can see the English on the right. And I'll give you just a minute or two just to jot them down. Just what you think they are, and then we'll go through one by one and just come up with a way to say these things. I guess I should have brought a theme song, like Jeopardy, something. And you could go and look these up. I don't want you to look, I just want you to look at that and put it together. And we'll just fill them in one by one, see what we come up with.
Number 1's easy.
All right.
Daséigu tuha.
Okay, so there's that. Okay, so if you're in Tassan, this might be one of these guys. And then since that's so this is a 0 group classifier, so in the future it's going to be 0. No vowel in the classifier. Tu is long. What about, did you eat already?
Daséigu again, or something like that.
Oh, there we go. Although, let me take a look at one thing. It's interesting. Okay. Yeah, so the ut is what turns it into eating as opposed to did you eat it yet? So if you took the ut out of there, maybe I'll make these a little bigger. Okay. My older sibling, and some of you might have a different kinship term for that, ate all the bread.
Dekat saknein ach, fill in the blank, awachan. Awacha.
Okay. Okay. When are we going to eat?
Got gain away. Gach tu cha.
So we got another one of these where we're going to put the ut in there, or else it's when are we going to eat it? So it's just a matter of like, is there a specific thing we're talking about? Like, let's say I'm sitting there cooking, it's taking me a long time. Then certainly, when are we going to eat it? But then once you put the ut in there, that's just eating. When are we going to eat something? That's another way you might translate that. Right, so again, like the English, you just add the it. The Tlingit, you have to sort of change the verb a little bit. plural they ate seal meat.
Ta dlei has awacha.
Okay. Okay. Only 12 more verbs to go. Any questions? Pretty okay?
When you're using at, can you use that before the verb in any tense or form?
For this one, yeah, so there's some of them, like, how do they take care of it with the object there or not? And there's kind of two common ways. And one's like, I'm going to sing. Ke atkakoshi. I'm going to sing it. So really you have two different, they're actually kind of like two different verbs, the way that we treat them, just because they change the meaning. So yeah, if you're just going to say eating, and you're not talking about eating a thing, you're just talking about eating, the ut will be there in any of the tenses or any of the verb modes.
And if it's not there, should you have something like guakandli?
Yeah, well, it doesn't have to, it's just, you're just saying it. So yes, if you haven't mentioned what the thing is, then it should probably be there. So if you said they ate, you would say has atwucha, right? And so the big thing is it changes this third person object. And so there's a number of verbs that are usually always just a third person, like eating it, planting it, a bunch of things like that. But yeah, so a lot of times if you're specifying eating it, then you're often naming what the thing is, or it's already been talked about. Good questions.
It seems almost flipped for when you're thinking in English. Gwatkin sawe at katuch. Ha. That seems like the ut is the it, but
It's
the
something.
opposite, something.
Right. So yes, same thing. If we knew what it was, like we're just waiting for them to finish cooking and we're getting impatient or whatever. We're not even impatient. Maybe I gotta run to check the mail or something. I say, "Gwatkin sakachtucha," but then there's some identified thing there. Otherwise, just generally eating. When are we gonna eat something? And so maybe if we just add the something in the English, that helps us with that translation. I'm gonna see something. I'm gonna eat something.
I think that will help me. Goodness, cheese.
Itia. Take a minute. Think about them. Write them down if you want to. So this one is like a doing or fixing verb. So there's a whole bunch of things that it could be talking about. And so for some of them, it might make sense if we're saying da or ka or something like that. So thank you for setting the table. This one's a little tricky because now we got to do a subordinate.
Unashchish ye nadak ye Sunday ye.
I might put a ka.
Ka. Okay, nadak ka.
Okay. I think that's how I remember saying it. Nadak kaye nasne. Set the table. It really just means the literal translation is do it, fix it on the table. Right. So this one I got from a story. So it's a little bit unusual to say. We're not going to use, I think you might use a fourth person, but we're not going to do it here. I saw it as a third person verb.
Chosaku we shkalneek gwasye. Nachi duck aga.
Gwasye shkalneek. But it's going to use this verb, so.
It's, what is it? Wasa at gogwane ha in gwasya.
Yeah, well, I guess.
Well, I can't remember if that's how it. Yeah.
What if I did this? That's kind of that's a literal translation of this line. Although it might be more of the, no, I don't know. We'll go yay. This one's a little tricky. What's the verb gonna look like?
Future verb, huh?
Mm-hmm. For third person. So the classifier, if it has a vowel, then we gotta do something a little different. We gotta put us in there. How are we gonna? We gotta put us in there, and we gotta get a future third person out of sane.
Let's put ha right there.
Yeah, we'll put ha. We're just one word away.
You just put it together like ʼakaduneek.
So it's dané. Dané would be the present tense. Like, what are they doing to us? What is he doing to us right now? Okay. But that one can't, it's got that's an unusual one where it actually, it'll switch to this verb in the future or the perfective. Yeah, okay, so guch sane. Wasaye haguch sane. What they gonna do to us? Singular they.
Where would you put us if you wanted to say what will they plural do to us?
I will entertain predictions. So what will those guys do to us?
After the ha.
That was a good guess.
That's a guess.
It was a good prediction, but it goes before. So and that's a really good question. So hasha, haschat, hasyi. So this one exists outside. It's a separate pronoun category. but it's still, it comes, so there's ye, and then the husses, and then the ha, yi, chat, and then we get to the verb.
So you're saying it's always ahead of the object, even though it's a subject?
Yes, yes. And then, and it's a wild one, because if you said, if you got that, you got to do a little extra work to signal which one's the plural, the objects or the subjects, or it could be both, right? So that's every language has certain things where they're just, they can only do so many things. And English has a whole bunch of them too, where you can't tell if it's, yeah. Good questions. Those are good questions.
I had another question about that one. Why wouldn't you have like a ide in there to us?
Yeah, yeah. And so I've heard this one too. Like, so the S classifier makes it somebody doing something. The zero classifier is something to happen. And I have heard, like, well, I would expect it to be da. Like, so I've seen in stories where people say, Heshwasaka kwati idat. It'll be okay around you. But then I've also heard Heshwasa ikwane. So wasahak kwane. You could say that too. Like, what's going to happen to us, right? And so this one has a little bit more cause, like someone's going to do it, right? So that's what the classifier switch does. But yeah, and so these are ones where, like, there's probably going to be multiple ways to say some of these things. So, like, you can also say wasahadat akuchsadne. How they going to do that around us? But that could also be interpreted in different ways, right? So yes, and these are fun things, because now we're doing lots of fine tuning on the little knobs here. Okay.
Can you say again why you got SA in this verb?
Yeah, so the SA, so it's an S classifier. That means we should expect all the futures to be sane. And because that is going to put a vowel into the classifier, the third person should be guchsa. So guchsa, guchla, guchsha, guchta.
But why is it not just a S or a SI?
It's a future, and it's an S. So just the letter S I would expect that to be a plus D type of verb. Like, you could say chush kukwasne. He's gonna do it to himself, right? And that could have all kinds of implications. Like, if you think someone's, like, you warned them, or if you said, like, hey, don't tell this kind of joke at ku'ik, and they stand up, start telling that kind of joke, you could say something like, Tushikukwasne, he's gonna do it to himself. Or maybe it'd be Yeshkukwasne, that's it. Yeshkukwasne, he's gonna do it to himself. But it's not plus D, so I'd expect it to be sa in the future. Okay. They prepared a path. They prepared the path for us.
Well, we de hajiqa yehas amsine.
What was the second part? Ha, I didn't catch that part after ha.
Hajiqa. No, jiqa. Yehas amsine.
Okay. Okay. And so again, there's multiple ways to get there. So I'll share with you the way that somebody said, and it was a very metaphorical phrase. So, so he said, "Yan has." Let me put this one in a separate line. So that's how he's, you know, and so again, and this is a little bit of a stretch because it's actually, once you put the yun in front of it, it's the same verb. It's actually, I think we usually document it as a different verb, so I kind of cheated on this one. Or maybe misled you, I don't know. But so the yun in front of it means they finished it. And so, but a similar thing, like so, yewune, it happened. And then you've got ye ausene, they did it, they fixed it. Yun uwane, it's ready. Yun ausene, they prepared it, they got it ready. So there's some verbs where you have, like you can even go back to here and you could say, achunch, yach ausachal de katwe saknein. So again, there's multiple ways to get there, right? It's not really a right or wrong type of thing. So you could say yach ausacha, they ate all of it. But this is fine too, right? Okay. We're just going to work on it.
We is tu or two.
Is it like a daséigu to sunny?
I'm going to add one more part to this.
Yes.
I'm going to get the just in there.
Chasada.
I'll probably just put cha, right? Okay. You will do it when you are brave.
Would it start with chutle?
It could. Yeah, it doesn't have to, but it could.
I'm pretty sure 95% of this is wrong, but I'll just, yeah, anyway. Is it like Yakwanwe Dukianuk or something?
Okay. Well, what about, I'll start it with itu.
Flitzin? Oh,
You
latsin.
see your verb, and I add you a subordinate suffix.
Yigachsene.
I'll say yay.
Whoops.
Gachyisine.
Oh, that would be you all. I'm just
Oh, you all.
You all aren't gonna, just one. Just you.
Yigachsene.
Jiné.
Ah, yeah. Oh,
Ah,
wow.
those Canadians come in from behind.
We got it right at 7 o'clock. Gonna sheesh. Yeah, so this is again fine tuning, just doing this, adjusting the knobs a little bit and the switches and everything else. And some of them, yeah, there's probably multiple ways to say these things, but it's just a matter of sort of, I was trying to think of kind of useful phrases using some of these verbs. So we'll power through a few more. Any suggestions for things to start the class with in terms of what you want to talk about? Dasadati tuasagu, wuchin aya, kakaktuklaati.
I have a different suggestion.
Okay.
That would be this nice exercise that we just did. It might be good to break people into pairs for 5 minutes to see what the two heads can come up with, and then report.
Okay, so we'll look at we'll reveal the next verb. Survey says, what was that, Family Feud? Is that what a feud? What? Oh, I guess a feud would be wududziteen, maybe. It's more like just it's a thinking different, but it's an argument. Or I guess they're talking. That would be it. Arguing. Okay. Out to gone. We'll work on that. So yeah, so like, but there's a kind of a short way to say when this thing happens, right? And that's kind of what this subordinate at the base level seems to be doing. Is sort of like, I'm happy when I see you. That's really what you're saying with ʼakaduneek. I'm thankful when I see you. So it's a very short way that the tle, I think, does work, but it seems to be more like when this thing happened, this other thing happened. It seems to pop up more in stories. So I don't know. We'll keep examining it. Jiné.
Goodness, Cheech, I really like this exercise.
Hatsu. Yik ewe.
Now, and then we're gonna get to one where it's not fully documented verb. So then you'll have to really put on your investigator hat and your big spyglass and be the verb snoopers. Gulchish, hucha.
Kune,
Ah.
I asked, we saw Keishi and I asked her about some verbs where there's 4 sounds before the root.
Mm-hmm.
And so she gave us an example, kagach tuchlashat. And she said that means we will take it. And it means like a tube of things, like say a skein of whitefish eggs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I looked around too. I found ones that had 4. So there might be just, there could be like, that's not a commonly used verb. And so maybe it was, or there could be other stuff going on there that we don't know. But I found ones with 4 vowels in them. So yeah, that was a great point by Cheat Wu. But yeah, I wasn't, because then I was really curious. It's like, oh, maybe I'm teaching this wrong. But I found other ones too. So it was okay.
It's almost like it was a plus D verb, but it wasn't, you know?
It could be one of those things also where like they're asking the speaker, but if you're not saying the herring eggs, then it's just switching to I'm gonna blanch, you're gonna blanch, and as a cooking style instead of, it just took the it out of it, which is, my theory is that that's what happened. Is there's a whole bunch of those verbs that they go plus D when you boot the object out, and that could be what happened. So go blanch your herring eggs.